All right. So I was in the middle of editing the video that I just made showcasing this build, and I realized my webcam, which is on the screen for you guys, was in the way of half the build. So I want this to be absolutely perfect for you guys. I want it to showcase everything so that you guys can make this build in your own game if you're playing the Necromancer, because as you know, there's not a lot of stuff on the Necromancer out right now. So I've had to do some research. I've had to take ideas from this build, take ideas from this build, put it into this build, and then throw my own little twist in there. Which I only really took an inspiration from one person's build, who I'll have linked in the description so that you guys can go check out his build and get the paragon board, because I'm actually using his paragon board. All right. So this is my Black Ice Necromancer. Um, I have to put some paragon points in. Please do not mind it, or please don't mind my slow ass PC. I need to keep this because that's actually pretty good. So I'm using the undercrown. It's not great. It is not great. It's actually like ass. So you don't need the best gear, but I'm using the undercrown. We're gonna go over all the uniques real quick. I'm using the undercrown. I'm using the death grip. I'm using bloodless scream, guys. If you don't have bloodless scream, you're gonna have to get it, or you're gonna have to slot it in if you can to your talisman. And I'm using pact of bone. So those are the three uniques. And then I'm using Death's Defense on my chest piece. I'm using Crippling Darkness on my pants. And the Void. I forgot what this aspect's called, but I know it's not called Buskin of the Void. It's Void. Type in Void into the thing and you'll find it. And then I'm using Hellbent Commander. This is another one that you guys need to have, as well as Reanimation. You guys need to have these along with the Bloodless Scream. If you don't have one of these, you're not going to be hitting as hard as I'm hitting in this video. Our Book of the Dead, I'm using Reapers. I've tested everything. I've tested every variation. Reapers do the best damage. If you're having survivability issues, you can run the barrier, but I'm not running the barrier. I'm opting for damage. This is kind of one of those builds where Rob says if you kill them, they won't have a chance to kill you. So this is one it's like it's very glass cannon. So we're taking the corrupting damage over 6 seconds, and then we're sacrificing our Iron Golem. He's not gone. He's still here on my screen, but gives us more damage. Now this Paragon board, I'm gonna have the build planner for the YouTuber who came up with this Paragon board in the description, because that's what I'm using. Our mercenaries, I don't know why he's gone again, but you're using Subo here. I'm gonna go grab him before I go and showcase. But you want to use Subo and you want to use Rahir. With Rahir, you can take Bastion or you can take Ground Slam. I like Bastion for like pits and stuff and bosses, and you can use Ground Slam if you're like in Hell Tides or something, or Infernal Hordes, because it'll heal you. So real quick, let's just go to the den. Let's go get Subo, because he's a big part of how we can hit so hard. And I'm doing this in one take. I'm going to leave the cutting to a minimum. So I hope you guys enjoy. So you want to get Subo. And then with Subo, you want to get Wire Tap, Wire Trap, Ready at Hand, Cover Fire, and Opening Fire, because it gives you crit. I haven't tested anything else. I was just trying to get the crit so we can get more damage. So take the crit. Let's go back. Why am I doing this? I can just hit T. If you guys have any suggestions on how to optimize this build better, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'm open to any interpretation. If you want to take this build and you, use different stuff and optimize it off of that, feel free. Please. I did the same thing. But this is a Torment 10. And these guys are just destroying literally everything. I'm gonna wait till after the pit to tell you guys my thoughts on why I think the build that I'm running versus the build that someone else is running, my build works better. And I think it's because of reach. I'll get into that after. So there's 5 billion. I'll get into the skill after this video. It's 4 billion. I don't have a boss key, but I'm pretty sure I could get bosses. So that's boss level. I gotta move around. So that's what I'm talking about. It's really squishy. Like, it is a squishy glass cannon style build. So as long as you got good mechanics, you're gonna be doing just fine. Because I'm not the best mechanically, but I will say that this build is insane. So you seen there we had 6 billion. There's another 6. That's essentially 6. It was like 5.97. You always want to be hitting your E and your W. Your E because the golem will give your minions more attack speed. Your W because they get like crit. They get like crit chance and attack speed, I believe. So your skill rotation essentially is going to be R, E, and then W on the target you're trying to kill. And this build does get up to 10 billion crit damage. The boss doesn't die fast enough. You really see some high building. First up there, so. There was 7. I messed up the damage yesterday. I didn't want to die a second time on video. Everybody else be calling me trash comments. But even when we're not in billions, we're right on the verge of 1 billion. And this build is great because it doesn't use a lot of essence, but you want to use Reap. I probably should have saved that. It's bosses. Okay, so boss is here. I'm actually glad I died because I should. Okay, so I low-key want to wait 4 seconds so that I can show you guys. Okay, let's go to this boss. Should be up here. So 6. I guess the stars have to align for you to hit 10. But it is hitting for billions, and I have seen 10. You guys can go verify that on my stream. Just skip towards the end, probably like the last 45 minutes or so, and you will see it. And it's on my channel. But that is the build. That is the damage. We are destroying. Right now, it is a survivability issue, which is why I'm not showcasing this in a tier 11. But I'm going to come in here. We're going to show you guys the skills.
Brother.
All right, so the skills we're using Army of the Dead. We got 2 into Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead deals 2% increase for each minion. You want to have the passive bonus, just because you don't need corpses. You want Unyielding Commander, Iron Maiden, Decryptify, which I'll get into why we have those slotted. We got the Golem, Skeleton Warriors, your Skeleton Mage. If I'm going too fast, you guys can pause. I got Sever. Sever is purely a mobility skill, so I'm not taking the slowing or the ferocity. And the most important part is you want to have Reap. You want to have it on cold. You want to stack ferocity, and you want crit chance on it. And I'm not going to get into this to the Paragon board because I'm going to link the Paragon board in the description because it's not my Paragon board. I'm piggybacking this build off of someone else's build, and I think that this build does just a little bit more damage. So, but I'm going to let you guys decide that. Now, the reason that we're taking Reap is because of Bloodless Scream. It is freezing. Every time you hit, you're chilling. Every time they freeze, you do bonus damage. So, that's pretty much it. I want to get Penitent Greaves and some other things, and I'll come out with a updated version of this build. But right now, this is what we're running. I'm going to show you guys my talismans. So we got the Black Shrouds, the set. I have 4 Dominion skills, 3 to Darkness, 2 to Darkness, 2 Dominion, 3 to Darkness. And then we have this one because it gives us a charm slot, and we're using the Blood Moon Breaches. So our summons have a chance to proc Decryptify and Iron Maiden when they deal damage. And we do increase damage to the enemies that are affected by those curses caused by our minions, which is why you have some points into Decryptify and Iron Maiden on the skill tree, which, that is not my idea. I didn't come up with that. I'm not that smart. I'm just coming up with the freezing and the reap and the billions of damage that we have seen. So yeah, if you guys enjoy the build, leave a like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions on how to optimize this build even further, let me know. I'm open to suggestions that you guys might have. So, peace.